The topic today is the skeletal system. Now, the skeletal system is composed of three major organs, and this includes number one, the skeletons that are made up of bones, the cartilage which supports the bones in the functions of the bones. Okay, and the last are the joints that connect the bones to another bones or cartilage with the bones to form the skeletal system. Now, the functions of the skeletal system includes the following. Number one, it provides support. Number two, it protects the internal organs. Like for example, the brain is protected by the bones of the skull. The heart is protected by the bones of the rib cage or thorax or chest. And the spinal cord is protected by the vertebral column. Number three is it assists body movements in conjunction with the muscles, because these muscles are attached to the bones that facilitates various movements of the body. Number four, it provides mineral homeostasis, meaning it stores and releases calcium and phosphorus. Number five, through the bone marrow, produces the blood cells, specifically the red blood cell. And lastly, it stores fats in the form of triglycerides in the adipose cells of the red bone marrow. So therefore, the red bone marrow or the bone marrow, is not only responsible for the production of the red blood cell, it is also responsible for the storage of fats and lipids in the form of triglycerides, because the bone marrow is composed of adipose cells known to store fats and lipids. Okay, now the structures of the bone. The long bones is composed or divided into three major parts. The middle part, this one is called the diaphysis, yung gitna, otherwise known as the bone shaft. Tapos yung dalawang ends niya, yung dalawang dulo are called epiphysis. Okay? Now, yung bandang taas, na nakadikit or naka-articulate sa halimbawa sa hips o kaya sa shoulder is known as the proximal epiphysis, while yung nasa lower part na naka-articulate naman either sa lower arm or sa lower leg is the distal. And if we dissect the bone, so we can find the bone marrow inside, housed in what we call medullary cavity. At yung bony part, yan ay nababalutan ng membrane, When you say membrane, parang makintab na cellophane. Our outer membrane is called the periosteum. While the inner membrane lining the medullary cavity is known as the endosteum. By the way, before we proceed, let's have a short vocabulary about the histology of the bone. Osteo meaning bone, while say for example the osteoporosis. Porosis means porosity or weakening. Osteo meaning bone. So porosis or weakening of the bone. While chondro means cartilage. So therefore, when you hear the word chondrocytes, so this refers to the cells of the cartilage. Peri means peripheral, and endo means inner lining, as in the case of the periosteum, peripheral meaning outside or at the side, and endosteum meaning inner lining or inside. While blast refers to precursor that secretes matrix, say for example the osteoblast that secretes bony matrix responsible for bone formation. While cyte refers to mature cell, like say for example the osteocytes, refers to the mature bone cell. Now there are four types of bone cells. We have the first one, the osteocytes. Again, that refers to the mature bone cells. And these osteocytes are derived or originated from the osteoblast. And osteoblasts are the bone-building cells that secretes bony matrix or bone tissue responsible for bone formation. And these osteoblasts are derived or originated from osteoprogenitor cells. And these osteoprogenitor cells are bone stem cells, meaning young and undifferentiated cells that are able to differentiate into other types of cells like osteoblasts. And the last but not the least are the osteoclasts. And these are the bone cells responsible for bone remodeling. Kasi ang isang buto habang lumalaki siya, nafo-form din yung kanyang nafo-form din yung kanyang shape into a proper structural form. So ang tawag natin doon is remodeling or bone remodeling. And again, the bone cells responsible for that process, bone remodeling, are the osteoclasts. Okay, and of course, the bone is supplied by blood through the nutrient artery, and the nutrient artery enters, okay, in the center of the diaphysis. Again, what is that diaphysis? Yan po yung mahabang gitnang part ng long bone, So, meron po yung maliit na butas. Okay, foramen, tawag natin dun ay nutrient foramen, dun sa may bandang gitna, where the nutrient artery, okay, dun siya nag-enter, that supplies blood carrying nutrients, gases, and minerals throughout the bone. Okay, now, next is the bone formation. Now, the bone formation, okay, is known as ossification or also known as osteogenesis. From the word genesis, formation, di ba? So, therefore, when we say osteogenesis, otherwise known as ossification, is the process of bone formation. Okay, and there are 4 situations wherein bones are formed. Una, embryological and fetal development. So, ibig sabihin, pagka ang embryo or ang fetus ay nagde-develop, nagkakaroon ng bone formation. Okay? Kung saan yung kanyang skeletal system ay na-form. And then number 2 is bone growth. So, pagka isinilang na yung baby, okay, so pagka siya ay lumalaki, nagkakaroon ng bone growth dyan, So, para magkaroon ng bone growth, so kailangan magkaroon ng bone formation. And likewise, bone remodeling, habang lumalaki naman yung bones, nagkakaroon ng shape, yung mga bones to form bone structures. So, during bone remodeling, nagkakaroon din ng bone formation. And lastly, fracture healing. So, halimbawa, pagka nabali yung buto, di ba, sisimentohin yan, Okay, at pagka nakasimento na yan, okay, magkakaroon ng bone formation dun sa gap. Okay, at unti-unting, magdidikit ulit yung bone. Okay, through bone formation on the fracture site. Okay? Now, there are 2 forms of ossification. So, ano yung dalawang klase ng ossification or bone formation? Una is the intramembranous ossification at pangalawa is the endochondral ossification. To differentiate, intramembranous ossifications occurs in flat bones like the flat bones of the skull, wherein endochondral ossification takes place, okay, in most of the bones of the body, particularly the long bones of the arms and legs. Okay. Pag sinabi nating intramembranous ossification, the bone formation, okay, develop from, or the bone develop from embryonic tissue directly to bone tissue. Ibig sabihin, from embryonic tissue, diretso siyang magiging buto, as in the case of the flat bones of the skull. Kaya pag silang nung bata, matigas na agad yung ulo niya. Hindi makulit kundi literal na matigas yung ulo niya or yung skull niya because it houses and protects the most delicate organ of the body, which is the brain. Samantalang yung endochondral skeletons, such as in the long bones of the arms and legs, from the word endochondral, meaning cartilage. So, ang development ganito, from embryonic tissue to cartilage tissue, before it develop or form into a bone tissue. Ibig sabihin, endochondral ossification is the bone formation that passes, okay, through cartilage stage. Dadaan muna daw siya sa cartilage stage bago siya maging buto. Kaya yung mga buto ng mga baby, pag silang nila, malalambot pa lang yan. Okay? Kasi nga, cartilage pa lang yan. Unti-unti pa lang yan magka-calcify and mag-oossify, tsaka pa lang siya magiging buto. Okay? Yan. So, when we say on the endochondral ossification, no, it is an ossification that replaces cartilage with bone in developing embryo and fetus. Okay, so paano ba yung endochondral ossification? So, from halimbawa ito yung long bones, no? So, cartilage muna daw siya, made up of hyaline cartilage, and then yan ay magka-calcify, okay, through the absorption of calcium. And then, pagka nag-calcify na yan, unti-unti yan, mag-ossify. Magkakaroon ng ossification. So, magkakaroon na ng bone formation. So, hanggang sa unti-unti nang maging buto yung entire long bone. Okay? So, yun yung endochondral ossification. Yan. Now, during the endochondral ossification, okay, matagal bago makumpleto yan, ano? Hanggat bata pa yung individual, tuloy pa rin yung kanyang endochondral ossification. Why? Kasi yung long bones at the young age, yan ay hindi buong buto pa yan, ano? Hindi siya buong buto. It is yet divided into 3 parts. Yung gitna is the diaphysis at yung dalawang magkabilang ends are epiphysis. Tapos, sa pagitan ng diaphysis at epiphysis, meron pa yung mga cartilages, okay? Called the epiphyseal growth plate. Now, what is the importance of the epiphyseal growth plate? From the word itself, okay, this is the site of bone growth. So, ibig sabihin, pagka lumalaki yung buto natin, pagka lumalaki tayo, hindi dito sa end ng bones, kundi saan? Doon sa epiphyseal growth plate. Okay? Which calcify and ossify at the age of 17 to 21. So, ibig sabihin, pagka ang edad mo ay 17 to 21 na, nawawala na yung epiphyseal growth plate kasi nagka-calcify na rin yan hanggang sa maging mag-ossify, hanggang sa yung buong long bone mo ay maging isang buto na. So, therefore, stop na rin ang growth. There are 2 main hormones that controls bone growth. First is the androgen and the second is the estrogen. So, take note na although ang estrogen is common sa mga female, meron din pong androgen, okay, ang mga female, although in a minimal amount lang, na konti lang, which will not affect the female sexual characteristics. At ganun din, likewise, ang mga lalaki, although common sa kanila yung androgen, example is the testosterone, meron din naman silang mga estrogen. At ganun din, in a very minimal amount, that would not affect the male sexual characteristics ng mga lalaki. Ha? Okay? Ano ang functions ng mga hormones na to sa control of bone growth? The androgens, example of which is the testosterone, lengthens the bone, no? Siya daw yung nagpapahaba ng buto. Okay? Siyempre, responsible yan sa growth ng individual. Samantalang yung estrogen stops bone modeling. So, ibig sabihin, siya naman na nagpapahinto ng bone modeling na dahilan para bumagal din ang pag-grow ng bone. This is the reason kung bakit, generally speaking, mas matatangkad ang mga lalaki. Okay? Kasi mas marami silang testosterone that lengthens the bone. At mas maliliit, generally speaking, ang mga babae kasi mas marami naman silang estrogen that stops bone remodeling. Next are the different shapes of the bone. There are many different shapes that we will only tackle, the 4 major shapes of the bone. Number 1 is the long bone. Number 2, irregular bone. Number 3, the flat bone. And number 4, the short bone. To differentiate, long bones from the word itself, ito yung mga mahabang buto, okay, of the arms and legs. Example is the humerus of the upper arm and the femur of the upper leg. While the irregular bone from the word itself are irregularly shaped, such as in the vertebral bones or vertebra of your vertebral column or spinal column. Irregular yung shape ng mga buto dyan. Next are the flat bone from the word itself. Okay, flat yung mga buto. Example of which is the sternum, the ribs, and the flat bones of the skull. And number 4, the short bone from the word itself. Ito yung mga maiiksi, maliliit lang. Example of which are the carpals or the bones of your wrist and the the tarsals naman or the bones of your wrist. Ankle naman, ankle. Okay? So again, short bones, example of which are the bones of the wrist, called the carpals, and the bones of the ankle called tarsals. Okay, next, the parts of the long bone. So again, yung nasa gitna is the diaphysis. Inside is the bone marrow, contained or housed in the medullary cavity. And then the two ends are called epiphysis. The end attached to the hips or pelvis is called the proximal epiphysis. And the other end attached to the either lower arm or lower leg is the distal epiphysis. So after discussing the bone, another important structure of the skeletal system are the cartilages. Although few, but are also important, that helps the bones perform their functions. And among these cartilages include, number 1, the cartilage of the ear or external ear, the cartilage of your nose, diba? Yung ilong natin, made up of cartilage yan. The articular cartilage ng ating mga joints. Okay, another is the meniscus or yung tinatawag nating kneecap found in your knee or tuhod. Okay? And then meron din tayo dito the costal cartilages found in the ribs, connected to your sternum. The pubic symphysis that connect your or join your right hips and hip bone and the left hip bone. Okay? And most importantly, the cartilages in the intervertebral disc. Ano ba yung mga intervertebral disc? So, ito po yung mga cartilage that connect, okay, and are found between your vertebral bone of your vertebral column. Okay? Okay, next are the division of skeletons. Now, the skeleton is divided into two, the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton, from the word axis, forms the bones of the long axis of the body, while the appendicular skeleton forms the bones of the appendages, okay, which includes the upper extremities and the lower extremities or arms and legs. The axial skeleton is composed of the skull, vertebral column, and thoracic cage or chest bone, while appendicular skeletons, okay, is composed of the pectoral girdle or shoulder bone, the upper limbs or the bones of the arms, the pelvic girdle or the pelvic bones, and the lower limbs or the bones of the legs. Okay. So, we have here, yung mga kulay green na yan. So, yan po yung tinatawag nating axial skeletons, which forms the bones along the axis of the body. While ito namang mga kulay brown na yan are the appendicular skeletons, which forms the bones of the appendages, which includes the upper and lower extremities or the arms and legs, respectively. Okay. So, unahin natin yung axial skeleton. First, number 1 is the skull. Now, the skull, hindi po isang buong buto yan. It is composed of different flat bones. Okay? Number 1 is the frontal bone. Yan po yung buto ng noo. No? Okay, sa ilalim niya is the nasal bone. Yan naman po yung buto ng ilong natin. Ano? At the base of the nose, hindi yung buong ilong kasi tawag doon, cartilage kasi yan. Ano? So, yung buto ng ilong natin is the nasal bone. And then, yung sa gilid ng nasal bone is the lacrimal. Okay? At kaya tinawag na lacrimal yan kasi dyan matatagpuan yung lacrimal duct that secrete tears or luha. And then, ito, okay, this is the bone of the maxilla, is the bone of the upper jaw. Okay? And the bone of the lower jaw is called the mandible. And then the bone of the cheek or yung tinatawag nating cheekbone is the zygomatic. Okay. Tapos, dun sa bunbunan natin or sa taas ng ating ulo, sa likod ng frontal bone is the parietal bone. Sa ilalim naman ng parietal bone, sa may batok is the occipital bone. Okay? And sa ilalim ng parietal, okay, anterior to the occipital, sa may bandang tenga, yan naman yung temporal bone. Okay, additional structures includes the zygomatic arc. So, ito yung zygomatic arc. Yung arc or yung bone connecting from the zygomatic to the temporal bone. And then we have also here the styloid process, the mastoid process, and most importantly, the external acoustic meatus. Yan, yung butas dyan sa may temporal bone. Okay? From the word meatus, meaning opening. Okay? Yan. And acoustic, from the word acoustic, hearing. Dahil dyan po, matatagpuan yung inner ear where the tympanic membrane or the eardrum is located. Okay? So again, the frontal bone, buto ng noo, nasal, buto ng ilong, sa gilid niya is the lacrimal, bone of the upper jaw is called maxilla, bone of the lower jaw is called mandible. Okay? Sa taas ng frontal are the parietal. Sa ilalim ng parietal is the temporal. And then, sa loob, bandang loob, we have magkatabi yan, ethmoid and sphenoid, that forms the wall of the orbit or eye socket. And we have here the zygomatic bone, that is the cheekbone. And the palatine, okay, actually sa loob yan, that forms the bone of the palate. Ano yung palate? Yung ngalangala. So, palatine bone, yan po yung buto ng ating ngalangala sa loob ng ating bibig. Okay. Now again, as I mentioned a while ago, that the skull is not a single bone. It is composed of different flat bones that are joined by suture. So, ang tawag natin doon sa mga nagko-connect sa mga flat bones ng skull are called sutures. Bakit tinawag na sutures? So, pag tinignan natin, para silang mga sutures sa Tagalog, parang mga tahi, parang tinahi. Ayan, mga zigzag, di ba? Okay. Although marami pong mga klase ng sutures dyan sa skull, discuss natin yung 4 major sutures. Una is the coronal suture. So, what is the coronal suture? That is the suture that connect the frontal bone and the parietal bone. Okay, followed by, ito, squamous suture. The squamous suture connect naman the parietal bone and the temporal bone. Tapos, sa bandang likod is the lambdoid suture that connect the parietal bone to the occipital bone. Okay? And then, itong nasa gitnang ito, is the sagittal suture that connect the right parietal bone and the left parietal bone. It is otherwise known as interparietal suture. Why? From the word itself, okay, interparietal, it connects two parietal bones, okay, right and left. And then you can notice here a junction, merong mga junction diyan. Okay, sa anterior, The junction between sagittal suture and coronal suture is known as the bregma. Okay? And the joint or the crossing between the sagittal suture and the lambdoid suture is called the lambda. Yan yung mga dating nung bata pa yung isang tao, yan yung mga dating tinatawag na fontanelle or soft spot, which later on fused into or calcify into bone. So after the skull, next is the vertebral column. So what is the vertebral column? That is the bone of the back, or also known as the backbone. The vertebral column is divided into 5. Okay. The first is the cervical spine. Okay, that is the spine of the neck region. Followed by the thoracic spine. Okay, yan naman po yung spine of the upper back region. And then, sa ilalim ng thoracic spine is the lumbar spine, and that would be the spine of the lower back region. And then the sacrum and the coccyx, yan naman yung spine, okay, along the hip region. Now, the vertebral column is not a single long bone. It is made up of individual bones called vertebrae. So, bawat isang buto ng, yung individual na buto ng ating vertebral column or otherwise known as spinal column, ang tawag natin dyan sa mga butong yan are vertebral column or vertebrae. Or vertebra pag singular, vertebrae pag plural. So, meron tayong iba't ibang klase ng vertebrae depende sa kung saan siya nakalocate, kung saan siya matatagpuan. Under which, number 1 are the cervical vertebrae. And there are 7 cervical vertebrae. So, pag binilang natin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are the vertebral bone found in the neck region. Tapos, sa ilalim ng mga cervical vertebrae are the thoracic vertebrae. Ito naman yung mga vertebra or vertebrae of the upper back, and there are 12, from T1 to T12. So when we say T1, first thoracic vertebrae, T12, 12th thoracic vertebrae. And then we have the followed by the lumbar vertebrae. Ito naman po yung mga bones or vertebral bones of the lower back. Okay, and there are 5 from L1 to L5. Okay, and then followed by the sacrum. Previously there are 5, but fused into 1. Nung bata ka pa, 5 yan, pero nung naging adult ka na, nag-fuse yan into 1 single sacrum. And then last but not the least, okay, do sa pinakailalim, okay, that is the coccyx. Okay, it is composed of 4 coccygeal vertebrae that fused into 1 coccyx. Okay, so next are the spinal curvatures. So if we view the spinal column or the vertebral column laterally, ibig sabihin naka-side, meron po siyang mga tawag dito, slight curvatures. Mga slight lang, slight curvatures. Okay? Laterally, pero pagka tinignan natin or view natin yan frontal view or ventral view, dapat straight yan. Pero lateral view, meaning side view, okay, meron tayong makikitang mga curvatures yan. We call it spinal curvatures or spinal curves. So, what are these spinal curves? Okay, so take note that the cervical spine is curved anteriorly or ventrally. Ibig sabihin, nakakurba siya papunta sa anterior or papunta sa ventral or front. Okay, tulad din ng lumbar, naka-curve din siya. Okay, it is curved anteriorly or ventrally, or it is curved towards the anterior or towards ventral. Ang tawag natin dun sa curvature ng cervical at saka lumbar is lordosis. So we have sa cervical lordosis at saka lumbar lordosis. Okay. While the thoracic spine or the thoracic vertebrae is curved towards the posterior or towards the dorsal. So it is curved dorsally. At ang tawag naman natin dun sa curvature na yon is thoracic kyphosis. Para hindi kayo malito, ganito na lang, no? Okay, so lordosis, letter L, liyad. So tignan niyo yung lumbar. Okay, di ba parang nakaliyad, una tiyan, so lordosis yon. Sa thoracic naman, yung curvature naman thoracic, ang tawag kyphosis. Letter K, kuba. Ano ba itsura ng kuba? Di ba? Paganyan. Okay? So, pag cervical at saka lumbar, which are curved ventrally, we call them lordosis. While the curvature in the thoracic region, in the thoracic vertebrae, okay, curved dorsally, is called naman kyphosis. Okay? Yan. So, yung kanina na diniscuss natin, may mga slight curvatures. Normal po yun. Pero, syempre, pagka merong mga curvatures, na higit pa doon, at least, let's say, more than 10 degrees. Ibig sabihin, sumobra na yung curvature. So, ibig sabihin, hindi na po normal yun. So, alamin natin yung mga abnormal curvatures of the spine. Okay, so please take note that this is the ideal alignment. So, dapat ganyan ang spinal curvatures. Although merong mga curvatures, dapat slight lang. Okay? Now, halimbawa, ganito. Masyadong malaki yung curvature ng thoracic. More than 10 degrees. We call that exaggerated kyphosis or hyperkyphosis. Pag halimbawa naman yung lumbar, okay, ang sumobra yung curvature more than 10 degrees, we call it naman exaggerated lumbar lordosis or hyperlordosis. Siyempre, pagka wala namang curvature, abnormal din yan, such as in the case of flat back posture. Okay, and if the curvature is laterally, if there is a lateral curvature either to the left or to the right, okay, more than 10 degrees, ano naman ang tawag dyan? We call it scoliosis. So, fortunately, any abnormal curvature of the spine can be corrected or can be treated through orthopedic interventions as either operation or external appliance. As in my case, I am wearing external appliance. Yung nakikita nyong lagi kong suot, that is lumbosacral support. Although yun lang yung nakikita nyo, pero ang hindi nyo alam, meron din akong complete spinal brace magmula sa neck hanggang sacrum, made up of alloy yun, matigas, tapos may mga belt na naka-wrap sa akin. Siyempre, hindi ko dinadala yun. Hassle kasi pagka dinala ko sa pagpasok. Kasi pagkasuot ko yun, halos hindi ako masyadong makagalaw. Para akong robot. If it is not corrected by external appliance, surgery. So, I am a candidate of surgery. Spinal surgery. So, kandidato pa lang, Hindi ko pa alam kung mananalo ako o hindi. So, ganito po ang itsura ng mga cervical vertebrae or yung mga vertebral bones sa ating neck. Ito naman yung mga thoracic, yung bones ng ating upper back. Okay? Lumbar, ganito naman yung mga bones ng ating lower back. All are irregular bones. Although makikita natin na iba-iba yung shape nila, pero meron silang common characteristic. This one, yan, at saka yan. Ano po yung mga yan? Yan yung tinatawag nating spinous process. Yan. So, yan, spinous process yan. Okay? Yan, mga spinous process yan. And that is the reason why the vertebral column is otherwise known as spinal column. Okay? Because of the common structural characteristic of this vertebrae called, again, the spinous process or spine for short. Okay, and then sa ilalim ng lumbar, okay, we have here the sacrum. Okay. Kung saan dyan nakadikit anong nakadikit dyan sa sacrum? The pelvic bones, the right pelvic bone and the left pelvic bone. At dun sa pinakailalim, okay, ng ating vertebral column is the coccyx. The vertebral column is made up of individual bones that are connected by intervertebral discs, okay, that are made up of cartilages. Aside from the function of the intervertebral disc that connects these individual vertebral bones, one of the most important function of the intervertebral disc is support, okay, and absorbs impact. So, sila daw nag-a-absorb ng impact pagka tumatakbo tayo, pag matagal tayo nakatayo, diba? Or nakaupo tayo. So, yung upper body weight natin, so siya yung nag-a-absorb ng mga impact para siyang shock absorber. And therefore, dahil ganun yung function niya or trabaho niya, prone po siya sa damages, lalo na pagka hindi po tayo maingat, mabibigat yung ating binubuhat, matagal tayong nakatayo, okay? Tapos, wrong pa yung mga postures natin. Hindi maganda mali yung postures natin. Either pag naglalakad, nagbubuhat, tumatakbo, etc. So, prone sila sa damages, So, ano yung mga possible damages that may occur in the intervertebral disc? So, ito yung mga yun, Take note na ganito po ang itsura ng normal disc. Okay? So, ano yung mga possible damages? Unang-una, degenerated disc. Ibig sabihin, nag-degenerate na sisira. Yan, diba? Okay, another one is the bulging disc. Ibig sabihin, merong parang lumobo, Okay? Kasi pagka yung disc na yan, yung intervertebral disc, pagka yan ay napitpit or naipit, merong luluwa dyan, Merong part na luluwa. Parang yung toothpaste. Di ba yung toothpaste, pagka pinisil mo, merong luluwa. Doon sa dulo, yung toothpaste luluwa, lalabas. So, yan. And that may, okay, impede the spinal cord. So, pwede niyang maipit yung spinal cord that may cause numbness, or tingling, or pain on this area. At yung mas malala, yung herniated disc, na kung saan mas malaki yung lumobo at mas malaki yung lumabas na disc. Therefore, completely, okay, impeding, ibig sabihin, iniipit. Okay, may ipit niya yung spinal cord. Okay, that may cause paralysis below this or down to this area. Okay, another is thinning disc. Siyempre, pagka laging mabibigat ang binubuhat, matagal na nakatayo, so napipit-pit yan. Okay, dahilan para ito ay numipis, thinning disc. And the last but not the least, the disc degeneration with osteophyte formation. Ito po yung aking diagnosis, Ganito po yung aking kondisyon. So, ganito po yung diagnosis sa akin. Bukod sa nag-degenerate or na-damage yung aking intervertebral disc, yung edge, nakikita yung edge ng mga bones ay humina, lumutong, parang naging chicharon. Kaya importante sa akin yung lumbosacral support at saka yung spinal brace na sinusot ko plus nagtutungkod ako. Kasi nga, yung part na yan ay medyo mahina na, kumbaga delikado. So, we now move to the appendicular skeletons. Again, what do we mean by appendicular skeletons? These are the skeletons that forms the appendages, which includes the bones of the upper extremities and lower extremities or the arms and legs respectively. So, unahin natin yung upper limb or the bones of the arms. So, una, we have here the scapula. Okay, scapula is the bone of the shoulder blade. Okay, attached with is the humerus, and that is the bone of the upper arm. Okay, below the humerus are the radius and the ulna. So, take note, dalawa yan. Okay, those are the bones of the forearm or lower arm, the radius and the ulna. So, ano ba pagkakaiba ng dalawang yan, no? Take note na yung reso, kapain nyo yung forearm ninyo, or lower arm. Dalawang butong nakakapa nyo dyan. Ang tanong, alin dyan yung radius at saka ulna? Okay, simple lang, ganito lang, ano? Yung radius, yun yung buto na naka-align sa thumb. Alam niyo yung thumb, no? Yung thumb. Yan yung naka-align sa thumb, yung radius. From the word radio, gumagamit kayo ng two-way radio. Yung walkie-talkie, yung ginagamit ng mga fire volunteer. Pag ginagamit yun, di ba pinipress mo ng thumb, no? Yung knob niya para makapagsalita ka, tapos i-release mo yon para makapagsalita naman yung nasa kabilang linya. So, from the word radius, yung thumb. So, yung buto na naka-align sa thumb, that is the radius. Samantalang yung ulna, kapay nyo yung ulna, magmula dun sa siko, kapay nyo yung siko nyo, yung buto dyan, hanggang dun sa buto na naka-align naman sa little finger. Yan naman yung ulna. Mula dun sa siko, diretso yan, buto, hanggang dun sa nakahilera dun sa, yung buto nakahilera dun sa little finger. And then carpal bones, ito naman yung mga bones of the wrist. Metacarpal bones are the bones of the palm, palad. And phalanges are the bones of the digits of the fingers. Okay? Yan. Okay, a more detailed one. So, humerus, no? That is the bone of the upper arm. It is known as the funny bone. No? Bakit siya tinatawag na funny bone? From the word humor. Humerus. Diba? Humor, funny. Okay, tapos the humerus is composed of the medial epicondyle and the lateral epicondyle, no? So, sa gilid ng iyong siko, meron dalawang mga nakausling buto dyan. Yan yung medial epicondyle at saka lateral epicondyle. Ang tanong, alin dyan yung middle at saka medial at saka lateral? Take note that the normal anatomical position is palm facing forward. Okay? So, yung medial epicondyle, from the word itself, ay yung nakaumbok na part ng iyong humerus na malapit sa iyong median, okay, of the body. While the lateral epicondyle, yun naman nakaumbok na buto ng iyong humerus away from the body or at the side. Okay? And then, we have the articular cartilage where the radius and the ulna are articulated or attached. Yan. So, we have here the humerus, the ulna, okay, and the radius. So, ito yung part ng radius na naka-attach sa articular cartilage ng humerus is called head or the radial head. Okay? Okay? So, ito namang ulna at saka radius, okay, magkadikit po yan. Magkadikit yan. Located sa ito yung mga buto ng ating forearm. So, magkadikit yan through interosseous ligament. Okay, now, the part of the ulna, which forms the elbow, yung siko, we call that the olecranon. So, yan, kapain nyo yung siko ninyo. Nakapain nyo. That is the olecranon. Okay? And then, dun naman sa kabilang dulo ng radio ulna are the styloid processes. Yung nasa may bandang wrist, na? Sa may bandang wrist, meron ka ding makakapa dyan na dalawang nakaumbok. Yan. Dalawang nakaumbok. Ang tawag natin dyan sa mga yan ay styloid process. Or styloid processes kasi dalawa. Okay, next we discuss the bones of the hand. Under which, number 1, itong mga kulay green are the carpals. Those are the bones of the wrist. Itong kulay blue are the metacarpals. And those are the bones of the palm or palad. And yung mga kulay red are the phalanges. Okay, yan naman yung mga bones ng digits of fingers. Okay, next we move now to the bones of the lower limb or bones of the legs. Okay, first is the hip bone or pelvic bone, attached with is the femur, known to be the longest bone of the body. Yan daw yung pinakamahabang buto ng katawan. Femur, that is the otherwise known as the thigh bone or bone of the thigh or upper leg. Okay? And then, sa ilalim, yung maliit na yan, sa may tuhod or knee, we call that the patella. Okay, that is the, or otherwise known as the kneecap, buto ng ating tuhod. And then, the bone of the lower leg, okay, includes the tibia and the fibula. So, take note na yung tibia, okay, is anterior or found on the ventral aspect, while the fibula is found at the dorsal aspect of the lower leg or posterior, no? At kung mapapansin din ninyo, yung tibia mas mataba yan, ano? Mas malaki na mas mataba, kaya tibia taba. Yung fibula mas maliit na payat, kaya fibula payat. And then the tarsal bones are the bones of the ankle, metatarsals, bones of the sole or talampakan, and phalanges are the bones of the toes or digits of the toes, daliri sa paa. Okay, unahin natin yung pelvic bone. Okay, so ito yung pelvic bone, again, attached sa sacrum, no? Nakadikit sa sacrum. So we have here the sacrum, dyan nakadikit yung right and the left pelvic bone, okay, through the sacroiliac joint. Okay, tapos sa bandang ilalim, the right pelvic bone and the left pelvic bone, okay, is connected, okay, by the pubic symphysis at the pubic bone. Okay, and the pelvic bone is composed of 3 bones, no? Una is the ilium. So, yan po yung ilium. Yung bandang taas. Okay, yan po yung buto ng ating waist, no? Yung waist. Baywang. Yan. So, yung buto ng ating baywang, yan yung ilium. Tapos, yung matigas na buto na nakakapamo sa baywang mo or waist, yan yung tinatawag na iliac crest. Okay, so, number 1 is the ilium. Next bone of the pelvic bone is the, yung kulay blue naman, okay, are the pubis, the right and the left pubis. Okay? From the word itself, pubis are the bones found in the pubic region. Siguro naman alam nyo kung nasan yung pubic region, ano? The third bone of the pelvic bone are the ischium, ano? The right and the left ischium. Yan naman yung buto sa may bandang puwitan. Kapay nyo yung puwit ninyo, di ba? May makakapaka yung buto dyan. Ischium naman po yan. Okay? And the next, acetabulum. Ano yung acetabulum? Okay? So, yan yung acetabulum. Tingnan natin lateral view. So, yan po yung acetabulum. Can be found, okay, at the joints between the 3 bones of the pelvis. So, ito yung ilium, di ba? Ito yung pubis, sa ilalim ischium. So, yung nasa gitna nila is the acetabulum. Para saan naman yung acetabulum? Diyan po nakadikit or naka-articulate yung femoral head or the head of the femur. Ano nga ulit yung femur? That is the bone of the thigh or upper leg. Okay, next we move to the bones of the lower leg. So again, dalawa yan, ano? The tibia and the fibula. Tibia, itong nasa anterior, okay? And medial. Ibig sabihin, bandang papunta sa gitna, papunta sa median, at nasa anterior or ventral portion siya. While the fibula, okay, is posterior or dorsal, nasa likuran, and laterally located. At sa pagkakaiba nila, yung fibula, yung tibia daw, mas mataba, as you can see, ano, in the image, and the fibula is payat. The tibia and the fibula are connected by tibiofibular joint. Okay? Yung sa taas is called superior tibiofibular joint, at yung sa bandang baba naman is called the inferior tibiofibular joint. At diyan po nakadikit sa tibia at fibula yung gastrocnemius muscle or yung tinatawag na calf. Okay? At yung gastrocnemius muscle na yan or calf is nakakonekta yan or nakadikit yan sa calcaneus ng ating tarsal through the calcaneal tendon or otherwise known as Achilles tendon. Okay? So, yan, no? So, ito yung tibia, yung mas mataba, fibula, mas payat. Sa ilalim niya are the tarsal bones. Okay? And the most common tarsal bones or the major tarsal bones is the talus. Okay? Nasa ilalim lang siya ng tibia. And the calcaneus, yung pinakamalaking tarsal bone is the calcaneus. Okay, next we move to the bones of the foot. Buto ng ating paa. Okay, una are the what? The tarsals. What are the tarsals? Okay, tarsals are the bones of the ankle. So yun nga, meron diyan yung talus at saka yung calcaneus. Although meron pang tatlo pang typical tarsals. And then yung kulay blue are the metatarsals. Those are the bones of the sole or talampakan. Okay, and the phalanges, itong mga kulay red, are bones of the digits of the toes or daliri sa paa. Okay? So before we discuss the last structure of the skeletal system, the joints, so let's try to have a brief wrap up or summary of the different bones of the body. So again, axial skeletons are those skeletons or bones that forms the long axis of the body. Itong mga kulay green. Appendicular skeletons forms the appendages or the bones of the arms and legs. Itong mga kulay brown. Okay. So, unahin natin yung axial skeleton. Number 1 is the skull that forms the cranium, which houses the brain. Next is the vertebral column, which houses the spinal cord, made up of vertebrae, the cervical, neck, thoracic, upper back, lumbar, lower back, sacrum, and coccyx found at the hip region, or between the hips. Okay, and the thoracic cage, it is made up of the sternum, yung nasa gitna. Okay, attached are the ribs, or yung nasa side ng sternum. Okay, next are the appendicular naman. So, unang-una is the pectoral bones, It is composed of the clavicle or the collarbone and the scapula or the bone of the shoulder blade. Okay, tapos nakadikit dyan is the humerus. Ito, yan naman yung bone of the upper arm. Tapos, bone of the lower arm are the radius and the ulna. Again, radius, naka-align siya sa thumb. Ulna, naka-align sa little finger. So, radius, ulna. Okay, and then the bones of the wrist are called carpals. Bones of the palms are called metacarpals. And bones of the digits of the fingers are called phalanges. Okay. Next, sa lower limb naman, okay, una, ito, the pelvic bones, It is divided into 3. Ito yung ilium, ischium sa baba, at yung nasa harap, matatagpuan sa pubic region. Okay, is or are the pubis. Meron silang acetabulum, Diyan nakadikit yung, anong buto yon? The femur, That is the thigh bone or bone of the thigh or bone of the upper leg. And then, sa ilalim, bone of the lower leg are the tibia, okay, and the fibula. Okay, and then tarsals, bones of the ankle, metatarsals, bone of the sole or talampakan, and phalanges, bones of the digits of the toes. Okay, so next, the last structure that forms the skeletal system are the joints. Joints are otherwise known as arthrodial. Kaya pagka masakit yung mga joints mo, sabi, meron kang arthritis. Ibig sabihin, merong infection and inflammation of the arthrodial, meaning joints. So what are joints? Joints are point of contact or attachment between two or more bones, or between cartilage and bone, or between teeth and bone. Yan, mga joints yan, or arthrodial. Okay, and we have different types of joints or different classifications of joints. Una are the structural classification, and pangalawa are the functional classifications. When we say structural classifications, these are the types of joints or classifications of joints based on the structures they are made up of. Either they are made up of fibers, cartilage, or synovial fluid. While functional classifications are the types or classifications of joints depending on their functional movement. If they are freely movable, slightly movable, or immovable, meaning cannot be moved at all. Okay? So, unahin natin yung structural classifications of joints. Una, we have the fibrous joints. Pangalawa, the cartilaginous joints. And pangatlo, the synovial joints. Okay, unahin natin yung fibrous joints. Fibrous joints, from the word itself, are joints made up of fibers which lack a synovial cavity. So, wala daw silang synovial cavity. Okay? Articulating bones held together with dense fibrous connective tissue. So, para silang tinahi, para silang itinali ng mga fibers, permitting little or no movement at all. Yan. Samantalang yung cartilaginous joint naman, from the word itself, are joints made up of cartilages, which also lacks a synovial cavity. And the articulating bones are held together with cartilage, mga cartilages. At dahil cartilage, ganun din, permitting little or no movement between these bones. On the other hand, synovial joints are joints that are made up of synovial fluid, housed in a synovial cavity. Therefore, permitting a large range of movement. So, yung synovial cavity, nakakagalaw po yan, Tulad ng mga joints sa ating shoulder, hips, sa elbow. Okay. Example of fibrous joints are the gomphoses. Ano yung gomphoses? The joint between the teeth and the jaw. Another is the joint between the radius and the ulna. Yan naman yung tinatawag nating syndesmosis. So, ayan, makikita natin dyan. Yung radius and ulna are joined by fibers called antebrachial interosseous membrane. While cartilaginous, example of this are the synchondroses, which connect the ribs to the sternum. And another example of cartilaginous joint is the pubic symphysis that connect the right and the pelvic bones at the pubic bone. Okay, while synovial joint, sample of which are the bones of the joints at the elbow and knee that contains what? Synovial fluid, inside a synovial cavity. Okay, next are the functional classifications of joints, and there are three. Number 1, synarthrosis. Number 2, amphiarthrosis. And number 3, diarthrosis, or the SAD or SAD. Okay, synarthrosis are called the immovable joint, meaning joint that allows no movement. While the ampiarthrosis are slightly movable joints, meaning joints that allows little movement. Medyo nagagalaw lang. While diarthrosis are the freely movable joints, meaning allows a wide range of mobility or movement. Okay. Example of synarthrosis or immovable joints are the sutures of the flat bones of the skull and the gomposis between teeth and jawbone. Ampiarthrosis or slightly movable joints, okay? Example of which are the pubic symphysis, yung nasa joint between the right and the left pelvic bones, no? As well as the intervertebral disc, okay? Found in between vertebral bones along the vertebral column. While the diarthrosis, freely movable joints as in the hip, knee, shoulder, and elbow. Okay, under diarthrosis naman, number 1 is the ball and socket. From the word itself, a ball and a socket. Yung ball nakashoot siya sa socket. As in the case of the joint between the humerus and scapula, as well as in the joint between femur and acetabulum of the hips, diba? Next, the gliding joint, from the word itself, are the joint that allows bones to glide, meaning slide over the other. Ibig sabihin, nag-i-slide or nag-glide lang sila sa isa't isa. Okay? Which can be found in the ankle as well as in the wrist. So, igalaw mo yung ankle mo at saka wrist mo. No, mararamdaman mo dyan, yung mga buto mo dyan, parang nag-glide sila or nag-i-slide sa isa't isa. Nagkikiskisan. Yan ang ibig sabihin. Okay, and the hinge joint, okay, hinge, from the word hinge, ito yung bisagra sa pintuan, na, which allows the door to open and close. So, ganyan po yung hinge joint, ano? It allows the movement of the body like closing and opening a door, as in the case of the elbow of the arm and knee of the leg. Okay? And the last but not the least is the pivot joint. So, ano yung pivot joint? The pivot joint allows pivot movement of the head. Okay, so makikita natin dito, ito yung skull. Sa ilalim ng skull is the C1. What do you mean by C1? First cervical vertebrae. C2, meaning second cervical vertebrae. So, itong C1 is fixedly attached sa skull. Ibig sabihin, nakadikit siya, hindi siya gumagalaw. Pero, bakit ka nakakalingon kung hindi gumagalaw yan? Dito po yung point of rotation niya. No? Sa C2, between C1 and C2. Pansinin natin tong C2. Diba? Meron siyang ganito. Ano to? Yan po yung tinatawag nating odontoid process. At yung odontoid process ng C2, nakashoot sa C1. Okay, na kung saan, pagka lumilingon ka or ginagalaw mo yung ulo mo, dyan yung point of rotation or axis. Again, between C1 and C2. That ends our discussion for skeletal system. I hope nakatulong ito, no, in preparation for your periodical exam. So, with that, good day and God bless.